Hello, Rosie. Hi. As you're one of the candidates of the program that's been run by um, Status Employment
Yeah.
for the startup uh, business startup, as well as as we call it, an entrepreneurship program.
Mhm.
Um, Let me start by asking you: can you just tell me a little bit about your current business, the current business that you have?
Right. Okay. So the current business is basically freelance administration and typing, office supports to small businesses, individuals, remotely on site,
Mostly.
in whatever it means. Yeah.
Okay, so this is pretty much a remote. You're like offering your remote admin skills, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
offering your admin skills remotely, yeah.
That's right. Yes. I mean, things have changed. Before I had the children many years ago, I was a full-time PA, secretary and typist. And now the boys have grown into adulthood. I was looking to return to work, and that's the kind of work I wanted to return to. But then I've really found that most of those jobs are done remotely by remote administrators now, rather than full-time in the office.
Which really, I would say, the 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 trade of the future, because
It
everybody's doing, yeah.
is.
Now, um, if you're happy to give me, just to share with you, with me, the disability that you were having, um, um, in pursuing this program, in getting into this program. What was, if you're happy to give us like a bit of a background of the disability?
Yeah, I mean, the background is very complex.
All
So
right.
just
Okay.
just bear
Okay. No,
with
not
me.
the background. I think
Um,
it's what this disability was all about.
that's right. Yeah, the disability is a complex and severe post-traumatic stress disorder resulting from a traumatic childhood and a traumatic young adulthood, really, as well, and sort of long-term untreated post-traumatic stress disorder. Which just basically means emotions can get triggered. There's changes in the brain, and it's hard for people to cope. You have flashbacks, intrusive memories, flashbacks, difficulty functioning day to day because the stress is so high all the time, and that needs that needs management.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, obviously, you were an administrator in an office setup, in an office setting, and then you wanted to move forward with this business that you have now with that disability. Tell me, what made you decide to hop in to get involved with this program that Status Employment has put up together, for
Okay,
candidates like you?
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Back in 2016, I just reached a point where I just could not go on. Full stop. Despite having children as teenagers, I was more or less stuck in bed, immobile, with chronic, severe post-traumatic stress disorder. And as a result, I got referred to the mental health team in Croydon, and got various help, support, and what have you from them, professional support. And through them, I learned about lots of different mental health charities that will help you with different areas that you're struggling with. And by, I got involved with Mind in Croydon, initially with their Active Mind section. Then I discovered that they did other things. And also they did an employment service where they help you into employment.
All
Now,
right.
I was going along to the meetings, but I was finding I was having great fear at actually having to be in one place all the time because of the panic attacks that I get. And anyway, I was talking one day to my employment support worker, Capricia, when I mentioned, I said, I said it would be nice to work for myself almost. And it was just batting ideas backwards and forwards. And she said, what would you like to do? And I said, I just love typing. I could type all day long. I said, if I could do that from home, I said, I'd be so happy. And at that point, this was late 2018, she said, I know somebody that I can get you in touch with. And she put me in touch with Robert Elston. And
status one, yeah.
Status, yes. And within a few weeks, on top of that, whilst I was waiting for Capricia to give me Robert's details, I went on a workshop run by Mind Employment called, and it was about learning about LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn and what have you. And the guest speaker there was a lady called Tori Robinson, who helps. I can't remember her exactly what she does, but she's championing mental health, championing epilepsy, challenging disabilities and what have you. And we were just having a chat post-meeting, and she looked at me and she said, Rosie, she said, you could work for yourself. And within a few hours, I'd gone to have a coffee because I was just suddenly thought, and I had pages and pages of just what I could do, how I could do it, how I could run it. It was like an inspiration. It was like a switch had been switched within me. But I didn't know how to go. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. Because of what I've experienced, my confidence is very, very low. My belief in myself is non-existent. I don't see myself as other people see me. Anyway, by and by, Robert got in touch and I got invited to join the course.
Wow.
And that's how it came about.
Excellent. With Robert giving you the direction and giving you this inviting you to be part of this program with again with status employment, what were your expectations on like as Robert has already explained how this would go through, but what were your expectations on this?
As always with PTSD, my first reaction was absolute fear, but recognizing I wanted to do this, my expectations were to learn how to do what I'd suddenly thought of doing. It was very difficult for me to go back to work because there was such immense fear with the post-traumatic stress disorder. And suddenly I found a way that I might be able to work. And so for me, learning how to run my own business, how to do it.
The whole idea, the expectation is actually to run your own business, which is really
basically how to do it. Yes.
Which is really perfect for that, because this is something, a startup and running your own business as an entrepreneur. Now that you already have set up a ready business, as I would call it, would you think those expectations has been positive, or did
I have gone from a place of having no hope and no drive and no inspiration to feeling like I've found a purpose, I've got something, and I can do it. Before I started the course, it was something I would like to do, but I didn't feel I could do. And because of the course, I can do it. I've got life within me again. Because of the support, because of the course, there's life.
Yeah, and at this point in time, as you have actually come up with a positive expectation, like from this program. What is your current plans in moving this forward? Because I understand that at this point in time, you're now wanting to get some clientele and to tap the clientele, the market for clients. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And again, it's through status. Status are helping me um, get my business around, getting people to know what I do, that I'm available for work. I've got the contacts that I need. So at the moment, I've made myself business ready for when somebody says, can you do X project or Y project? I'm ready and I'm available. I've got, I've forgotten what the question was.
Yeah.
What was the question, Andy?
Well, what was actually um, as this was what would be your plans now as you have
Oh,
achieved
that's
those
right.
expectations? What so far you've achieved that level of expectation, and then now
Mhm.
what is now your plans moving forward with the business?
Okay, well, my plans are basically to, to continue engaging with status because of the post support. It wasn't just the support on the course, it's the post support. There's somebody there to ask questions, there's somebody there to keep encouraging. And my expectations now are that my plans are that I work at my desk, doing my own admin, becoming familiar with the modern world, with things like Zoom. I'm sorry, something just popped up. Things like Zoom and scanning. I'm doing lots of my own admin whilst waiting for work to come in so that I am ready and I know what I can do and I know how long things take. Above that, asking status to, make contact with anybody that can help, who might need work that I do.
Yeah,
Using my contact list to send, so just basically just waiting for work to come in now.
right. And
That's
actually, yeah, and
and actively seeking work, of course, as well.
yeah, yeah. Well, the end of it now is the next big step is to get the client so that the business will start rolling. Now,
Yeah,
well, thank you for that, Rosie. Yeah, now, to help us as well with this program, what advice can you give to people like me, support workers, coaches, or what you call a business facilitators and all that, and as well as people who are mentoring you in moving forward your business?
mm,
What advice can you give for us to be able to use? There's always a space for improvement in this. So we would like to
mm,
see it in a way that we will be learning from you as you're one of the candidates who've started this program.
mm. I think that the key thing to remember is that anybody who is linked in with your program, and who joins your program and comes on your course, we're there because we do have our mental health problems. We have anxieties or depression, post-traumatic disorder, a whole spectrum of mental health disorders. And take, for example, depression. It affects how one functions and it affects how one sees the world and how one sees oneself. So on the outside, you might see a confident, maybe outgoing, engaging person, but within there's a child struggling and the mind is struggling to follow things, to understand things. And really for facilitators to understand that it's not, depression isn't just a mood disorder, it's a brain malfunction. So sometimes we need time to absorb things. We need the understanding that although something may appear very simple, our brain is having difficulty connecting the dots. Also with depression, it severely knocks your self-confidence and your self-image. You don't believe you can do it. You don't believe in yourself at all. And you don't see yourself as a nice person. So keeping those things in mind, being patient and giving people, like as you do, giving people the time to do it in their own, take
Pace.
their own journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Take their own journey. So for me personally, I know the first course that you did was 10 weeks. Our course was shorter than that.
Yeah.
Um, me personally, I found it a bit too short.
All
And there
right.
was too much, in some of these sessions, there was too much information to absorb.
All right. So
Information that I needed to learn, but I couldn't.
like squeezed so much that you needed more time to digest every step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were times when I felt very squeezed, and that's when I started to feel the panic attacks coming on. But on the other hand, there was great understanding, because we could leave the room whenever we needed to, and we could get our own space. There was plenty of breaks. I thought the break lengths, the break times were very good. It was loosely structured around the people's needs.
Yeah.
There was an agenda, but it was structured around the people that were attending.
All right. And lastly, well, just still in connection with your advice to support workers, what do you think would be the most essential thing that a support worker would have um, to enable for the support worker to perform and their duty, their job as a support worker, to guide you and to assist you into um, obtaining your own business?
What can they do? I mean, you've all been absolutely tremendous, and I feel very blessed and very fortunate to have come across you. And that is thanks to Minding Croydon, that is thanks to Capricia, the support worker. It's thanks to Tori Robinson. It's thanks to the Croydon mental health team in their own way. It's thanks to all the support. I think really just understand that at times I won't be the only one. There'll be other people having anxiety attacks and just needing a moment to breathe, or perhaps just needing 5 minutes just to vent out whatever's going on in the head, to clear the head so that we can then focus on what we're doing again. Because with anxiety, the mind's running off. It's seeing things that aren't going to happen. It's catastrophizing. I can't say that word.
That's what it is.
when you're in a depressed state of mind, lockdown isn't just a temporary state, it's a permanent state.
Yeah.
You're never ever going to see your friends again. You're never ever going to get your life back again. Yeah. And anyway, one moment at a time.
Kudos to you as well with the energy to obtain this business that you have now. Then people will be learning a lot from this, and this would serve as an inspiration for a lot of candidates, like the upcoming candidates who's going to go through this program with status employment. Lastly, if people would like to find out information about your business, where will they go, or what will they do if they would like to find?
Well, if they'd like to engage with me or find out more about what I can do for them or what I can offer, I've got my Facebook page.
Yes.
Rosemary's Admin Solutions.
Okay. Rosemary's Admin Solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, Rosemary's Admin Solutions, and I'm also on LinkedIn as Rosemary Jackson. I can't give any. It's difficult, really, isn't it? I can't give any more because I can't. I need a bit more detail. Sorry, I'm floundering.
Well, it's just like if people would like to engage with you with regards to
as I said, so my Facebook page, but also contact status. They've got my details, and they will happily pass on the details.
Yeah, lovely. So thank you again for your time, and I hope this would serve as an inspiration to other candidates, and us as support workers would also learn from you moving forward to enable us to have a better understanding and do our job better.
I hope so. I do hope so, because there's more of me out there. Yes. And there's hope, for all of us, whether you want to dog walk, whether you want to run a punk shop, or run an administration business. Status will help you, and you'll gain a purpose, you'll gain your life, you'll gain your motivation, you'll gain your drive again, and enthusiasm.
Again, thank you, and all the best with yourself in the business. And
Thank you.
thank you.